Welcome to Daily Marketing Tactics, your go-to channel for practical marketing strategies to help you grow every single day. A landing page is not a sales page. It's a page that touches emotions. You might have a brilliant product, a polished advertising campaign, and a flood of daily traffic to your website. But if you're still not seeing any improvements in your conversion rate, no new leads, no orders, no email opt-ins, then chances are the real problem lies somewhere you wouldn't expect: your landing page. In today's hyper-competitive digital landscape, a landing page isn't just a digital stopover anymore. It's the battlefield for conversion. It's where users decide whether they continue the journey or walk away. It's the place where a silent dialogue occurs between you and your potential customer. Do you understand them? Are you compelling enough? Can they trust you within just a few seconds? It's no different than dating. Just as you wouldn't propose marriage on the first encounter, you can't expect users to take action simply because your landing page says "buy now." If a landing page were like a first date, then you need to say the right things, at the right time, in the right way, to connect on both the rational and emotional level. This is why Patel, one of the most influential marketers in the world, shared a series of incredibly practical and powerful strategies in his talk, 7 Landing Page Hacks That'll Double Your Sales, Part 1. But what makes this talk truly valuable is not just the hacks themselves, but what lies underneath: a deep understanding of behavioral psychology, user experience design, and the invisible art of persuasion. This article doesn't simply rehash those 7 hacks. Instead, it takes you on a deeper dive, decoding the why behind each tactic. Why do these seemingly minor tweaks lead to dramatic boosts in conversion? What emotional triggers are we pulling? How can you adapt these strategies to your product, niche, and audience? With each section, you'll gain more than surface-level tactics. You'll understand the psychology behind them, see real-world examples and results, and receive step-by-step guidance for implementation. If you're an affiliate marketer, constantly battling high ad costs and low ROI, a business owner looking to double your sales, or a copywriter aiming to write landing pages that actually sell, this guide is for you. Get ready to look at landing pages in a whole new light, not just as static sales tools, but as dynamic experiences that guide your visitors from doubt to trust, from hesitation to action. Welcome to a transformation in how you think about conversions. This is your blueprint for emotional-driven landing page design, inspired by Patel's proven methods. Now let's begin with the very first hack: simplify to optimize. The art of subtraction that multiplies conversions. Imagine walking into a restaurant with 120 items on the menu. Instead of being excited, you're overwhelmed. You don't know what to pick, so you either make a rushed choice or, worse, walk out. That's exactly what happens when users land on a cluttered, chaotic landing page. And it's what Patel calls out as one of the biggest conversion killers: too many options. This phenomenon is known as choice overload, a concept proven by researchers Sheena Iyengar and Mark Lepper in their famous jam experiment. In their study, a booth with 24 varieties of jam attracted more attention but resulted in far fewer purchases than the booth with only 6 options. The takeaway? Less is more, especially when it comes to decision-making. Neil illustrates this with a case study: a bad credit loan landing page. On the surface, the page looks fine. It has a professional layout, a scrolling navbar, text content, icons explaining the process, a map, and a footer. But according to Neil, it's loaded with distractions: too many links, too many sections, too many decisions. The result? Visitors get lost, overwhelmed, and most importantly, don't convert. The navigation bar, the silent conversion killer. One of the most overlooked elements is the navigation bar. It's often packed with links like About Us, FAQ, Login, Support, etc. But Neil warns, these options pull users away from your primary goal, getting them to click the CTA, call to action button. His advice? Remove the nav bar entirely. Replace it with a single, highly visible button that says Apply Now or Get Started. Because when there's only one path to take, more users take it. The footer, a dead-end trap. The footer is another area filled with optional exits. While it's standard to include privacy policies and contact info, too many links turn your footer into a detour menu. Neil explains that excessive footer options lead to misclicks. People end up in areas like the FAQ page instead of converting. His rule? Keep only what's necessary. Trim the fat. Inconsistent call-to-action placement. One of the biggest misses on this loan page was CTA scarcity. The form button appeared only at the top and bottom of the page. But what about all the content in between? Here's the thing, users don't scroll in order. They skim, they bounce between sections. If your CTA isn't present and visible throughout, you're missing numerous conversion moments, especially when interest peaks. Solution: sprinkle CTA buttons across the page. After persuasive content, below customer testimonials, inside visual blocks. This ensures users always have an action point when they feel ready. Why simplicity wins: the psychology of fewer choices. Neil's minimalist strategy isn't just aesthetic, it's psychological. Fewer choices reduce cognitive load and decision fatigue. People are more likely to take action when the path is clear and singular. This is known as the paradox of choice. When given too many options, people are less likely to choose anything at all. By simplifying the layout and minimizing distractions, you make your visitor's mental journey easier, and that leads to more conversions. Neil Patel's minimalist landing page principles. One goal per page. Don't try to educate, upsell, and collect leads on the same page. Choose one objective and design everything around it. Eliminate distractions. If an element doesn't push the visitor closer to converting, it's unnecessary. Design with the F pattern in mind. Users scan in an F shape, top left, then across, then down the left margin. Place key content and CTAs accordingly. Reduce friction. Fewer steps, shorter forms, clearer paths. Reduce the effort required to say yes. A quick self-audit. Is your landing page too complicated? Ask yourself, are there more than 3 links in your navigation bar? Is your footer cluttered with unnecessary sections? Are your CTAs placed consistently throughout the page? Can a visitor understand what you want them to do in 5 seconds? If the answer to any of these is no, it's time to declutter and refocus. Final thoughts. Simplification is not about making your page empty. It's about removing anything that competes with the conversion. Neil Patel's advice isn't to do less. It's to focus more. In an age of overstimulation, a clear, singular message becomes magnetic. Fewer links is more clicks. Less noise is more trust. Less friction is more conversions. That take a hard look at your landing page. Where are you sending users by accident? Where are you losing them? Simplify and you'll amplify. Quizzes and engagement. In today's digital age, capturing and retaining user attention has become more challenging than ever. Neil Patel emphasizes that simply showing a lead form or pushing a CTA button isn't enough. What really works is engaging the visitor first before asking them for anything in return. That's why Neil leveraged interactive quizzes in one of his successful projects, Nutrition Secrets, where they previously struggled to convert visitors into leads. Instead of presenting a traditional opt-in form, Neil's team introduced a quiz, asking simple personal questions like gender, goals, and exercise habits. After completing the quiz, users were shown results tailored to their input and then prompted to enter their email to receive a custom plan. This approach alone increased conversions by a staggering 108%. Why was it so effective? Because it tapped into powerful psychological triggers. Firstly, there's the sunk cost effect. When someone invests time and effort into something, they're more likely to follow through. After answering a few questions, users feel compelled to complete the journey and submit their email. Secondly, personalization plays a key role. Instead of pushing a generic message, the landing page speaks directly to the user's specific context. For example, instead of saying, "Sign up to lose weight," the message becomes, "Here's your personalized fat-burning plan based on your answers." This makes the offer feel more relevant and trustworthy. Finally, these quizzes provide marketers with valuable user data, enabling better segmentation, retargeting, and email nurturing. Neil's approach to engagement isn't just theoretical, it's actionable. He recommends tools like lead quizzes, Outgrow, and Typeform, all of which allow you to build engaging, data-driven quizzes without needing technical skills. Whether you're in fitness, finance, education, or e-commerce, quizzes can be tailored to your industry. A fitness brand might ask, "What's your workout goal?" while a beauty brand could ask, "What's your skin type?" In the case of bad credit loan websites, instead of showing a lead form upfront, Neil suggests asking, "How much do you want to borrow?" or "What is the loan for?" These light touch questions keep the user engaged and moving forward. There's also a deeper behavioral insight. The more time a user invests, the more emotionally committed they become. Neil experimented with a mobile quiz using a playful slider labeled, "How rich are you ready to be?" where users had to drag dollar signs to the right before the CTA would appear. This simple, gamified element accounted for 60% of total leads on mobile, a huge return for such a small feature. It proved that micro-interactions lead to macro results. Beyond entertainment or novelty, engagement tactics create a feeling of control. When users guide their own experience, they are more likely to trust the process and ultimately your offer. Neil's analogy says it all. Trying to sell immediately is like proposing marriage on the first date, but asking for a quiz response is like inviting someone to coffee. It's the start of a relationship, not a forced commitment. This strategy isn't limited to collecting leads. It also enhances follow-up and remarketing. Every quiz answer adds another layer to your customer profile. You can customize your email sequences, retarget with Facebook ads, and shape future offers based on real user insight. Instead of guessing what your visitors want, you ask them and then give it to them. So whether you're building landing pages for your own brand or as an affiliate, integrating interactive quizzes at the start of the funnel is one of the highest ROI moves you can make. It transforms your page from a static message into a dynamic experience, guiding visitors toward conversion while making them feel understood. Smart exit pop-ups. Most marketers let visitors leave without a fight. Neil Patel, however, suggests that your most valuable conversions may come at the very last second, right when users are about to exit. Instead of allowing them to disappear, Neil advises using exit intent pop-ups. Pop-ups that only trigger when a user's mouse moves toward the browser's close button. But unlike the boring text-heavy pop-ups we often see, Neil takes it a step further by integrating animated GIFs. These visuals add motion and surprise, immediately grabbing attention and disrupting the user's mental exit process. In one test, Neil used the same copy, the same offer, but changed the static background to a simple moving GIF, and saw a 42% increase in email opt-ins. Why does this work? Because the motion re-engages attention. The offer is now framed visually, and the pop-up feels more like a human moment than a robotic interruption. Neil also highlights a playful mobile version where users are asked, "How rich are you ready to be?" and must slide a dollar scale bar before the CTA appears. This fun and tactile experience accounted for 16% of mobile leads, proving that interactivity at the moment of exit can be a powerful conversion tool. Smart exit pop-ups work because they tap into fear of missing out, capture final attention, and offer one last chance to act. They're not annoying if they're well-timed, well-designed, and value-driven. The key is to make the pop-up feel like an opportunity, not a trap. GeoIP personalization. Generic landing pages are dead. Today's users expect experiences that speak directly to their location, culture, and context. That's why Neil Patel recommends GeoIP personalization, a technique that adapts the copy, visuals, and even offers based on where the user is accessing the site from. He shares an example from Babbel, the Balkan-speaking language platform. When Neil visited their site from Brazil, he expected to see English courses promoted, since English is the most in-demand language there. Instead, Babbel's default was Spanish, a missed opportunity. With simple GeoIP tools, Babbel could have shown, "Learn English and get better jobs on Upwork," tailored for Brazilian professionals. It's not a massive technical lift, but it massively boosts relevance and conversions. GeoIP strategies can display local city names in headlines, e.g., 2,100 people in Chicago trust this product. Adjust currency formats, offer region-specific testimonials, or trigger location-sensitive offers. In Neil's tests, sales increased from 12.49% to 27.57% across various stages simply by inserting local references. It makes users feel like, "This is made for me." The technique isn't just about tech, it's about emotional resonance. When people see their city or country reflected, they trust more, breathe longer, and hat faster. GeoIP personalization. Generic landing pages are dead. Today's users expect experiences that speak directly to their location, culture, and context. That's why Neil Patel recommends GeoIP personalization, a technique that adapts the copy, visuals, and even offers based on where the user is accessing the site from. He shares an example from Patel, the language learning platform. When Neil visited their site from Brazil, he expected to see English courses promoted, since English is the most in-demand language there. Instead, Babel's default was Spanish, a missed opportunity. With simple GeoIP tools, Babel could have shown, learn English and get better jobs on Upwork, tailored for Brazilian professionals. It's not a massive technical lift, but it massively boosts relevance and conversions. GeoIP strategies can display local city names and headlines, e.g., 2,100 people in Chicago trust this product. Adjust currency formats, offer region-specific testimonials, or trigger location-sensitive offers. In Neil's tests, sales increased from 12.49% to 27.57% across various pages simply by inserting local references. It makes users feel like this is made for me. The technique isn't just about tech, it's about emotional resonance. When people see their city or country reflected, they trust more, read longer, and act faster. Strategic friction. In a world obsessed with convenience, Neil Patel flips the script. Instead of always making things easier, he suggests that adding a little strategic friction can actually improve conversions. Why? Because when users work for something, they value it more. This is based on behavioral psychology, the sunk cost fallacy. Once I've started, I'm more likely to finish, and the commitment bias. Once I say yes, I want to stay consistent. Neil illustrates this with 2 case studies. The first is instant checkmate, which delays showing results and creates suspense with lines like, "What we found may disturb you." This makes users curious, emotionally invested, and more willing to pay. The second case is Mike Chang's skincare funnel, where users fill out a detailed quiz before being qualified to buy. Everyone qualifies, but it feels earned. In tests across 5 sites, this friction increased conversions by up to 58.86%. Strategic friction can take the form of eligibility quizzes, step-by-step progress bars, or unlocking special access. When done well, it builds trust, deepens commitment, and makes the eventual CTA feel like a reward. Just be sure to test it. Friction is powerful, but only if it feels purposeful. Optimizing headlines and copy. Everything starts with your headline. According to Neil Patel, 80% of users read the headline, but only 20% read anything after. That means your headline isn't just an introduction, it's the make or break moment of your landing page. Great headlines are short, emotional, specific, and curiosity-driven. Phrases like "set and sequence to double your sales" or "the mistake that's killing your traffic" work because they tap into emotion and specificity. Neil also encourages the use of conversational language, using you and I to create intimacy, not distance. Beyond headlines, the rest of your copy should feel like a friendly, helpful conversation, not a sales pitch. Use short paragraphs, bullet points, and bold benefits. Address objections like "do I need a credit card" or "is this beginner friendly" right in the body. And don't underestimate the power of tone. A clear, confident, empathetic voice builds trust. Neil proves time and again that copywriting is not about being clever. It's about being understood. Test different headlines, monitor scroll depth, and optimize like a scientist. A one-word change in a headline can mean the difference between indifference and irresistible. Advanced tradition and real-life application examples. After understanding Neil Patel's 7 powerful landing page hacks, the real challenge begins. How do you combine them into one seamless, high-converting system? This isn't about stacking isolated tips. It's about building a psychological journey where every step earns the visitor's trust and nudges them closer to action. According to Neil, a landing page shouldn't be seen as a static endpoint. Instead, it should be a multi-stage narrative where design, copy, and interactivity work together to create a conversion experience. Neil recommends mapping these hacks onto the classic AIDA framework: attention, interest, desire, action. Each hack fits strategically into a particular stage. For example, to capture attention, use a clear headline, Hack 7, with a clean layout, Hack 1. To spark interest, implement an interactive quiz, Hack 2, with localized messaging, Hack 4. To increase desire, use qualification filters, Hack 6, and a compelling checkout bump, Hack 5. And finally, to seal the deal, deploy an exit intent pop-up, Hack 3. This framework turns your funnel into a guided experience, not just a sales push. Let's break down a real example. An online course priced at $199. The landing page opens with a bold headline like, "Want to earn from home in 90 days? Here's how thousands already did it." The layout is minimal, no nav bars or clutter. The user takes a quiz. What kind of freelancing suits your goals? Based on their IP, the site displays top freelance jobs in Manila. At checkout, the page offers a bump. Add our proven email templates for just $29. If the user hesitates and starts to exit, a gift pop-up appears. Don't go, grab your first lesson free, a $49 value. And before the final purchase, the user is told they qualify for the upcoming cohort, creating a sense of exclusivity and reward. Each element is not just tactical, it's emotional, behavioral, and intentional. Whether you're selling skincare, software, coaching, or courses, these hacks can be adapted. For example, a $59 anti-aging serum could use a quiz. What's your skin type? Localized shipping messages, free delivery to Chicago today, a checkout bump, add travel size version for $15, and a final pop-up showing a transformation GIF. The goal is to make the user feel seen, understood, and excited, not just sold to. And you don't need coding skills. Tools like Typeform, ConvertBox, ThriveCart, and Opt-in Monster help you build everything visually. What matters most is not the platform, but the psychological sequence. Each step should answer one core question. What's the next micro-commitment my visitor is ready to make? Ultimately, these strategies work best when they're not noticed. When the visitor feels like they're in control, even as the page is gently guiding them toward conversion, that's when magic happens. And that's how you transform a landing page from a static billboard into a conversion ecosystem. Conclusion and call to action. If there's one message that echoes through all of Neil Patel's teachings, it's this. A landing page isn't a tool for selling, it's a tool for building trust. Whether you're an affiliate marketer, a small business owner, or a corporate team leader, what matters isn't how much traffic you have, but how well you convert the traffic you get. The 7 hacks Neil shares, from simplifying layout to gamified engagement, from smart exit pop-ups to emotionally tuned headlines, are all pieces of a bigger puzzle, designing an experience where the user feels safe, seen, and guided. When these pieces come together, the result isn't just more conversions, it's more confident, intentional action from your users. So where should you begin? Start simple. Choose one hack this week and implement it. Rewrite your headline using Neil's headline rules. Add a 2-question quiz. Test a visual pop-up triggered on exit. Or insert a small checkout bump. Each change you make, when done with intention, moves your page closer to clarity, relevance, and persuasion. Here's the key. Conversions don't happen by accident. They happen because your landing page leads people through a journey where every element removes fear, adds confidence, and amplifies value. The metrics will follow. Bounce rate drops, time on page rises, lead generation grows, and customer acquisition costs shrink. But the most important shift? You start to trust your own funnel, because it's finally working with human behavior, not against it. Neil says it best. Optimization isn't about tricks, it's about building a better path to yes. When your page stops shouting and starts listening, when it respects attention rather than demanding it, you stop pushing and start pulling. And in that moment, your landing page becomes more than a page. It becomes a conversation, the conversion journey, a business asset. So what are you waiting for? Pick one hack. Try it. Measure it. Improve it. Repeat. Because once you do, you're no longer guessing, you're guiding. And that's the future of landing page design. Thank you for watching the whole video. Please like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos.